Okay, I've mentioned before, X causes Y. So X is our input or our domain, Y is our output or our range. So let's go ahead and look at this and determine first, is it a function? Well, to be a function, each input has to determine the output. So if I put the same input, I need to get the same output. So let's look at the input and see if it occurs twice. So let's start off with -4. Does that occur as an input again? It does not. Let's look next at -2. Does that occur as an input again? And yes, it does. I've got two ordered pairs that both have -2 as the input. Do I get the same output for both? And unfortunately, the answer is no, they're not the same. What does that mean? That means it's not a function. Anytime I have the same input and I don't get the same output, then it's not a function. So is it a function? No. Now, what is the domain? What is the range? Well, domain is the input. So we're going to use set notation. And we're going to write our inputs. I've got a -4, -2, and 0. -2 is used again, but I only have to write it once. So this is my domain. How about the range? Okay, now I'm going to write each of the outputs, again using set notation. I've got 3, 1, 5, and -8. Now, I'm not quite done here, but I want to explain something. Notice that my domain is smaller than my range. That's a tip-off that it's not a function. The domain should always be the same size or larger than the range. Now, I need to write these numbers in order from the smallest to the largest. So for my domain, I'm set. I go -4, -2, 0. That's in order from smallest to largest. Well, my range is not, so I need to fix that. Let me cross this one out, and let me write this the right way. So again, I'm going to use set notation. And what's the smallest one? It would be -8. Next smallest is going to be 1, and then 3, and then 5. And then again, I use my set notation.